Title of this video is How San Pedro Cactus Can Heal Your Family Trauma. I'm going to share a story with you about my experience with San Pedro Cactus and how it helped me heal my family trauma, ancestral trauma. Extremely powerful experience I'm about to share with you right now. My name's Mark Dharma. This channel is The End of Suffering, and on this channel I share with you tools, strategies, techniques on how to end suffering in your life, whether that's suffering, mental suffering, anger, frustration, stress, upset, sadness, shame, guilt, negativity, all the stuff that they stop us from really having a fulfilling life. Okay, the end of suffering, how you can feel joy, peace, and be successful in life. So we share things like plant medicine, which is what today's topic is, breathing exercises, hypnotherapy, NLP, energetic technologies, any tool that works, and any tool that I've tried, and I've tried a lot of them. So, San Pedro cactus, what is it? So, San Pedro cactus is a cactus that grows in South America pretty freely. Apparently in the Andes Mountains it grows very well, but it actually can grow most places quite well. It can withstand cold temperatures, I believe up to like -6 degrees, and in the United States, especially in the south and southwest, it grows really freely. If you live in California, you might see it just walking down your street. A lot of people have it in the gardens as a cactus that looks good. But yeah, it can actually be used for medicine and shamanic purposes. Apparently it's been used for over a couple of thousand years for shamanic purposes and medicines. So here's how I got introduced to San Pedro. A couple of years back, a friend of mine said to me that he knows this shaman. It's actually a woman in Southern California in Orange County. And he said, hey man, he said that, I got introduced to this woman, and I was told that she does San Pedro ceremonies. Have you ever heard of San Pedro? I was like, yeah, I've heard of it. He said, okay. And he said he was told that he should go if he's got any issues with family, unresolved issues with families. So he said he had a really poor relationship with his dad. His dad passed away fairly recently, and he didn't have a great relationship with his dad. So he went on this journey, went to this Shah woman to have a San Pedro ceremony to help heal the stuff, any of the pains and traumas and resentments he still held with his father. And he told me that he did indeed heal it. He said it's clear that he healed it, and afterwards he felt totally different about the relationship with his dad, and he felt a lot more peaceful within himself and just a lot more happy. So he said, you should try this out. So I was like, okay, yeah. A little bit of my backstory is that my father died when I was 21. So right now that was, 16 years ago, quite a while back now. And when he died, we wasn't really on speaking terms. I had just finished college in a place called Leeds in England, and my dad lived in Manchester. My mum and dad were together. If I called my dad from college, back then he didn't have a cell phone or anything, it was just calling the house phone, If he answered the phone and I called, he would say, I'll get your mum, and then pass the phone to my mum, and that was about the extent of our conversations. We didn't talk at all. So I didn't have a good relationship. Over the last 15 years that he's been dead, I've been working on our relationship, forgiving him for certain things and trying to understand him more. And, I felt like I did quite a lot of work on healing that relationship with my father. It actually took a few years before I even cried about his death, and really felt it. Hold on, I'm just gonna jump over this. Try not to get wet here. Okay, cool. So yeah, there was definitely something going on, some unresolved issues, and that I hope to solve, especially because I now have a son. My son was born just around the time when I went on this shamanic journey with San Pedro, and I just wanted to make sure that me and my son had a good relationship, and I didn't want this, father-son bad vibes to get passed down. So I showed up at this lady's house, as I said, in Orange County. We got there early, about 8 a.m. I think. There was maybe 5 or 6 other people there, and we're all sat around having a cup of tea and just having some snacks. And the lady comes in, she's from Mexico, Shah woman, and she says, we're going to be having some San Pedro. It's a tea. So they make the cactus, they brew it into a tea. We're going to drink it. You can have 1 cup. Some people want 2, 3, maybe 4 maximum cups. And we're going to sit in the garden, bring a pillow, bring a yoga mat, and just relax. Now she said, look, San Pedro is a plant medicine that you have to work with. Meaning that if you have a strong intention and you're willing to put in the work, you will get what you came here for. So for me, it was really healing with my father. She says, however, if you take San Pedro and you just don't really engage with it, you don't really dive into your issues, she said nothing will really happen. You won't really experience anything. She said it's something you have to engage with, which is very different from a plant medicine such as ayahuasca, because ayahuasca, she's gonna, and when I say she, I mean the plant, the female energy from ayahuasca. She's going to show you what you need to see, whether you like it or not. She's going to take you on a ride, whether you want to be on a ride or not. You're going on a ride with her. Different with San Pedro. If you don't want to be on a ride, you're not going to go on a ride. If you want to get something out of it, you got to put the intention there and go for it, so to speak. So I was like, okay, that's clear with me. And she mentioned that when you take the medicine, you might feel a bit woozy, you might feel a bit sickly, just relax, stay with it. Some people do throw up or purge. If you throw up or purge, that's fine, just relax, stick with it. Okay, all good, no problem. So I take a cup, we do she actually does some prayers, and she says some things in Spanish. I don't know what she was saying, but it sounded like prayers or some opening ceremony stuff. I've got no idea what she was saying in Spanish, but she's really into it. She had feathers and things. She seemed like a legit Shah woman, put it that way. She had all the things you'd expect a Shah woman to have, decent prayers in another language, some feathers, she had tobacco too. She'd blow tobacco on people, and this is to clear the bad spirits. Did she give us harpe? Harpe, I don't think she did. So I took the tea, got myself nice and comfy outside, drank the tea, kind of bitter tasting. It's got alkaloids in. I should say that the active psychedelic compound in San Pedro cactus is mescaline, which is found in other cactuses too, such as what's the other one called? Someone put in the comments below what the other ones are. I know someone knows. Just escapes me right now. So sit on my mat and across my legs, and I just start meditating, because that's the thing I like to do a lot of, and something I feel comfortable, quiet down my mind, start meditating. If you want to learn how to meditate with me live for free, if you want to learn Vipassana meditation, there'll be a link below somewhere where you can sign up for a 30-day meditation challenge with me. I'll teach you live through video. I take a group every 30 days, teach them Vipassana meditation, which is what Buddha used to become enlightened, to be free. And I teach that same meditation style. So if you're interested, find the link or a button below, sign up, and we'll let you know when the next 30-day challenge is and you can join. So I start meditating. Nothing much happening, stomach feels fine, everything feels fine. Start to feel quite an uncomfortable sensations on my neck, especially the left side of my body. An hour passes, a good hour of meditation, and I feel a little bit woozy. I feel like slightly in the influence of something, and I'm just noticing my neck really aching. Time for a second cup. So I have a second cup of this tea, the San Pedro tea. And I sit there. Now I'm noticing it a little bit more intense. And I start, thinking about my dad. My dad's life comes to mind, what he went through. The relationship my dad had with his dad, which wasn't good, by the way, at all. They didn't really speak at all either. My dad was the eldest son. He had two younger brothers and an elder sister and a younger sister. And he had the worst relationship with his dad out of the brothers. And just, we're just thinking about my dad, appreciating some things, kind of just seeing him in a different light, I just started seeing visions of him as a child, of him growing up, what his life was like. Thoughts were coming to my mind that I never really had before. Maybe because I never sat down and really considered this before, or maybe it was the plant medicine bringing it up. I kept noticing how uncomfortable my left shoulder, like my left trap was. Like, it was really starting to ache at this point. Really, really uncomfortable. Like some weird, uncomfortable pain coming through, and it was bothering me. All right, time for a third cup. So I have a third cup. And this is really when things started shifting for me. So the pain in my lat, like my shoulder here, not my lat, my trapezius, became significant, like really hurting me. Then tears started coming from my left eye. Then I started spreading up to the top. All this left side started really, really aching and hurting for a while, and it was bothering me. And at the same time, I just started to really get an understanding of my dad's situation and how he raised me and like what he was thinking. And then boom, it hit me. I had a revelation. It just came to me and was like, oh, got it. This is what's going on. And the revelation was that this was a generational thing. This relationship, this poor relationship between myself and my father wasn't limited to myself and my father. It was actually the whole line of my dad's side family, the whole family tree on the male side. It was this bad relationship between son and father had been going on for a long time. It was an ancestral thing. It became clear. All of a sudden became aware, like, hey, wait a minute. My cousins down on my dad's side, so the male side of the family, so my uncle's sons, they didn't have the best relationship with their dad either. My uncle didn't have the best relationship with his dad. My dad definitely didn't have a great relationship with his dad. My grandfather I don't think he had a relationship with his dad. And it just kind of stacked up in my head. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, this is a generational thing. This isn't just me and my dad. It became just so obvious. The type of revelation that you get on plant medicine, right? It was like, oh, got it. this is a generational thing. This is an ancestral thing. I see. And I kind of had this insight that this could be broken today. I don't know where it came from. I just got this insight like this can be broken today. And it started to become clear that this pain on the left side of my body, the left side of my shoulder here, was somehow related to this generational trauma, let's call it, on the male side of my family. It was related. It wasn't just something that was going on, it was something to do with it. Now, I'm not really sure about how that's related, but what I have heard is that I think the left side of your body is apparently energetically related to your masculine side, and the right side is your feminine side. Now, I don't know. I'd love someone to like figure this out. I think I've just heard it in passing. I've not done research into it. I don't really know. I'm just sharing what I've heard in the past. I've also noticed that in a few of my friends who have bad relationships with their dads, I've noticed that they tend to have a left side trap that's locked up as well. And even clients, I used to be a professional massage therapist. I noticed that with some clients too. Now, anecdotal, I can't say anything more than that. All I know, it was damn painful and it felt like it was somehow related to this trauma. So I just got it in my head that I need to clear this, felt like trapped energy, this pain, stuck energy on the left side. I just got in my head that I need to clear it. It just seemed like you need to clear this, and then this is going to be healed with your family. The male side ain't going to have a problem anymore. So I was like, all right. So I got up, I went to the shower woman. Lady's name is Sonia. And I said to Sonia, hey Sonia, I've become aware that the issue with my dad is generational, it's ancestral. It extends all the way down the male side of family, and this left shoulder's really hurting, and I need to clear all this now. We can be healed today. So she said, okay. Next thing I know, she's like literally smoking tobacco out of a pipe, like some pure tobacco out of the pipe, blowing it all over my neck. Then she's getting out of feathers, and she's blowing on me and like doing these feathers, and then saying all this, I don't know, sounds like, like magic potions and stuff she's saying on it. I don't know what she's doing, but she's really going at something, blowing off this energy, telling it to go away, bringing the light in. She's like really doing a lot of stuff. And I don't know exactly what she's doing, but it kind of feels like it's working. Whatever she's doing is working. Then, next thing I know, involuntarily, I start doing some kind of Wim Hof style breathing. Body just starts going on like that. I'm not consciously doing it, it's just happening. I feel like this vibration just increasing in my body and keeps getting stuck in this shoulder. Like all my cells are vibrating except this shoulder's kind of being stuck. It kind of starts releasing a little bit, like the high vibrations traveling into the shoulder a little bit. She pulls me outside. I go out, was inside for a bit, and she pulls me outside. She tells her assistant, who is another shower woman, to come round. Next thing, they're both like blowing tobacco, giving all these feathers around and like saying all these different South American, Spanish kind of prayers. I don't know what is going on, but I'm stood around and I'm the guy where everybody else is kind of sat on the mat chilled, just looking at me thinking, what the hell is going on with this guy? That was going on. I was like making a big thing. Everyone's just looking at me like, what is going on? The two shower women are going absolutely crazy up and down my body, blowing all types of stuff. They're spraying stuff on me, like essential oils and water. I don't even know what's happening. And I'm doing all this breathing and everyone's just looking at me like, what is going on here? I don't know, some type of exorcism or something. Anyway, this is going on. And I'm breathing like crazy. And then all of a sudden, Sonia just stops. She comes up to me, puts her hands on my shoulder and looks into my eyes. And she says, you know, you can do this easy way or the hard way. Which one do you want to do? And I was like, the easy way. I was like, the easy way. And she was like, okay, do this. Close your eyes. See yourself as a young boy. See yourself as a young boy, 4 or 5 years old. And go and close, imagine seeing yourself, can you see yourself in front of you as a young boy? Yeah. Give yourself a big hug. Give yourself a big hug. The type of hug that you wanted from your dad. And tell him that you love him. Go and do it right now. Close my eyes. Saw my 4 or 5 year old self. Gave myself a big hug. And the moment I gave my 4-year-old self a big hug, I could see. And when I say I could see, my eyes weren't open, my eyes were closed. But as my eyes were closed, I could see all these men who I knew were my ancestors. I just knew it. Well, I knew what was going on. All these men who were my ancestors on my dad's side of the family, the male side of my family, all came around and hugged me too. Like, we all had a big group hug. And as I saw everybody do it, as we did it, the whole big group hug happened, I felt a shift. Like that stuck energy from the left side of my body, shoulders went boom, disappeared, just flew off into the sky, just went. It was clear, like some stuck, trapped energy just left. And as it left, my ancestors all got out of the big hug and just started laughing, just whooping, celebrating, like it was healed. We knew it was healed. All of them celebrating, jumping for joy, happy, just, chanting, like, woo, it sounded like some African, some South American stuff, some native Indian. It was just, everyone was just going wild. Everyone was going wild, celebrating, and we just knew it was healed. It was gone. Like, that's no longer a problem. And I was stood there, shaking and trembling, crying, tears of joy, because it was clear to me that this has been healed. I had tears of joy, shaking, trembling, tears of joy. And of course, when I opened my eyes, I saw everybody just still sat around, just looking at me like, what is going on with that guy? And the Shah woman and assistant said, are you okay? I said, yeah, it's done. It's healed. And I could see, again in my mind's eye, I could see my ancestors running around, celebrating, jumping on top of me, like pushing me to like start dancing. And I started dancing a bit. I just felt like a weight had been lifted from my shoulders. The pain had gone. The weight was lifted from my shoulders. I felt incredible, like I had so much energy, such a high vibration. Like, I felt amazing. I felt reborn, actually. I felt so like I loved my father, like we had a fantastic relationship. I just felt totally different about my relationship with my dad. Like, there's love and respect and so much gratitude for him. And I felt totally different about my whole family, actually, on my dad's side. Like I want to get to know my cousins better. I want to know their sons. I want to be involved with my family, because I hadn't been involved for years, actually. I want to be involved with everybody. And then afterwards, we closed the ceremony, we had to eat, we sat around, drank some, and everyone shared, what they got. And when it was time to leave, when we checked, everybody was, sober and good and, ready to drive, a few hours later, and I felt totally sober, ready to drive, felt great. We left the house, and I sprinted to the car, jumping for joy, because the energy I felt was incredible. Just an incredible aliveness. So happy. I couldn't wait to go home and see my son and give him such a hug and a kiss and let him know how much I love him. Man, I felt completely reborn. And then since then, again, as I said a couple of years ago, I still feel great about my family. I still feel great about male side. I have a fantastic relationship with my son. Bear in mind, he's only 2, but we have a fantastic relationship. You know, we have a lot of love shared in our relationship. I do have a different perspective. I have a better relationship with my uncle as well, who I haven't spoke to for a while. Yeah, I gotta say it's lasted. And this shoulder, this left side of my shoulder, which actually had been traditionally very tight and stiff, has been loosening up even more since then. So San Pedro, for me, I believe that healed my family trauma, and I hope it can do the same for you. Now listen, don't just go up and find some San Pedro on the street, cut it up and do it yourself. By the way, I've done that. Me and a few friends did that. We was in Venice, Los Angeles, and we saw some San Pedro in some guy's house. We chopped a bit of it and made it into a tea. And yeah, we felt it come on. But come on, that's not the way to do it. Get a shaman or shawoman, someone who knows what they're actually doing. I don't believe I would have had that breakthrough if I would have just had the San Pedro without the guidance and the help there. So make sure you have a shawoman, shaman who knows what they're doing. And that's it. If this is interesting, if you want more of this stuff, subscribe to my channel. Sign up for a 30-day meditation with me. I'll teach you the Vipassana meditation. Subscribe and like, place your comments. Let me know if your experience with San Pedro. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.